go to pull at her clothes and her hair atop of the rock, right? They're actually pulling at her. And this.
Let me get this straight. There's two cocks pulling at clothes on a rock.
You know, when two macaques are pulling at you,
It's like space
it's
stalking, Stacey.
It's alarming. So she begins to panic, and the other tourists that are around here, they then proceed to, like any good citizen would do, they point and laugh.
What would you do?
So Melissa Hart.
One can never trust a foreigner.
Well, of course not. So Melissa Hart, 23, British tourist. She says, this is her quote. She says, "I felt totally helpless as these two monkeys grabbed and pawed me in my most intimate areas. And then with one yank, one of them pulled my bikini top straight off." Now, apparently, she's a baker from Macclesfield. Do you know where Macclesfield is?
How do you spell that
I
one?
do know where Macclesfield is, and to be honest, a lady from Macclesfield probably has had her top pulled off more than once.
By a bunch of macaques, right?
They are known for the band the Mac Lads that I think you would enjoy.
Now, Macclesfield, I believe, is spelled MacclesFieldChousTershire, right? The rest of that's silent, right? This is what I'm learning about English cities. I'm just trying to be educated.
Well, I think in reference to this story, you should probably have a Mac Lads episode next week with great songs such as "You've Got Veins in Your Bodies, We've Got Bodies in Our Veins," "Sweaty Betty, You Can Fit a Bus Inside Her," which is another absolute classic, and of course the late night food song, which I believe, of course, is "We'll have chips and gravy twice. We'll have pudding beans and peas and 2 fried rice. We'll have a baby on the baby tat, a sweet and sour pork, half a dozen spreaders on a Nagasaki sauce." It's poetic.
Boner.
Stacey, have you been drinking?
Poetic. No, not at all.
Bullshit.
I
said it.
I already said
well, unless, Joseph, you spiking these. Apparently I may have been.
I think you might have been drinking. Now here's the denouement, if you will, the end of this story.
And I will.
So, Melissa Hart, she protests, she screams. A policeman on duty goes to her rescue, and she tells the policeman she's been attacked by monkeys, and that, she was attacked by macaque.
That's racist.
And she says that she was sexually assaulted. Now, the policeman tells her, he says, well, he was sorry for her ordeal. He does add that macaque are wild animals, and they cannot legally commit a crime.
You can't control macaque.
Then he says to her,
even though they do have their own brain.
But then he says to her, Stacey, he's quoted as saying this, and if they could, do you think you could pick out your attacker in a lineup? So basically, the fellow tourists laughed at her, and the legal officials laughed at her. So everyone laughed while my cock defiled her.
At least he didn't say to her, if they could, do you think they would have chosen you?
I just want to know. I mean, I don't know many women that would like to stare at a lineup of macaques.
I've seen a few that might.
Wow.
Typically, they're ones that like guys with aluminum canned bottles of Bud Light.
Oh, aluminum bottles, not
aluminum
kids.
bottles. I corrected myself.
Hey, I takes care of my kids, all 5.
I believe the great city of Ybor on a Saturday night has plenty of them.
Ooh. Anyways, we got another interview to do, Mr. Stacey Cheese, but we want to wish you the happiest of birthdays, and that's it. So see you later.
Thank you so much, Troy.
Stacey,
see you, bud.
Stacey, we'll catch up with you a little later for your birthday, pal. So look forward to seeing you in a bit.
Absolutely. See you tomorrow, gentlemen.
Bye.
Right, take care. All right, guys, we got to jump to a quick commercial break. When we get back, the man, the myth, the legend.
He's not a myth. He is here.
Frankie Reyes from Florida Wrestling Academy will join us. Stay with us. We'll be right back after this.
Great wrestlers aren't born, they are made. Do you have what it takes to become a pro wrestler? Florida Pro Wrestling Academy. Florida Pro Wrestling Academy. This is hands-on, old-school training by the legend Frankie Reyes to become a pro wrestler, referee, or manager. The course is a progressive system utilizing basic instruction in strength and conditioning, followed by advanced instruction in the fundamentals and finer points of professional-style wrestling. This course is available for both men and women ages 16 and older. Make your appointment now for one free training session. You heard me right, I said free. Call the Florida Pro Wrestling Academy now at 813-454-8477. The Florida Pro Wrestling Academy training facility is located at 333 Falkenberg Road, Suite A129 in Tampa, Florida. Follow us on Facebook at FL Pro Wrestling and on Twitter at Wrestling_FWA. So what are you waiting for? Get to Florida Pro Wrestling Academy and start your training today.
Tough economy got you down? Are your money problems causing you marital issues? Unable to hide money spent at today's gentlemen's club? Well, you don't have to be a gentleman to come to Gyrations. Gyrations dancers work on a barter system. We only hire single mothers whose homes are in utter disrepair. So if you're blue collar and you have a viable skill, labor leads to lap dances and maybe more at Gyrations.
My plumbing is all fouled up and I need somebody to work my posthole diggers.
Do you want VIP treatment without sacrificing your kids' education? Well, don't take your tool belt off. Work yourself a deal at Gyrations.
Models are all over the age of 18 except where identification was not present.
This is Admiral Akbar. You're listening to the Cranial Emission Show, but it's probably a trap.
Welcome back to the Cranial Mission Show, folks, the penultimate segment of the show.
Yes.
Ben Charles, Miguel Hito, the C-Squared, Caleb Crispy himself, broadcasting live like we do every other week from ESB Brewing, located here in Tampa, Florida, 333 North Falkenberg Road. Sweet D.
Ooh, Sweet D.
Miggy, I got to say, these
Sweet D.
407.
these fajitas are fantastic.
Yeah, and that's why you should come to ESB, because not only could you get a hot plate of fajita, but you can also get one of 9 different beers to choose from behind the bar. Go and see the lovely Nicole to pour you a pint of one of ESB's finest, and you have the ability to call into the show, Craniacs. You can do so like the Lord Stacy Cheese just did in the last segment by dialing 813-438-6068. We are pleased to be joined, as we teased before the commercial break, by the man, the myth, the legend himself, Frankie Reyes, proprietor of the Florida Wrestling Academy, who we have had the pleasure of being joined in the past by. Frankie, it is an honor to have you here, my friend.
Gentlemen, it is always a pleasure to be here with you guys. I love this show. It's one of the best radio shows I've ever been on. You guys are just tremendous.
Thank you very much.
Well, I'm humbled by that. Thank you very much.
Frankie is as good
Did
a
you
trainer
pay him?
is as good a trainer as he is a liar, right?
Yeah, I said, did you pay him before he came here or something? Because he's,
no, but I did take a training. I did start my training with him this week, and he gave me the what for.
Yeah,
so.
I actually want to lead in with that, Frankie. I understand that you've been kicking Miggy's ass.
Well, yeah, at my age, being 63 years old, going on 64, I could still get in there with some of the guys. And, Mickey over here said, oh, come on, you can't. And, I showed him a few things. He goes, wow.
I didn't say that. No, I
and I came to see him the next day. Say, my neck is killing me, my back hurts, my legs. I think I pulled a hammy.
all right, hold on.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is that your next bit of advice for Miggy in wrestling school would be to wipe the sand out of his vagina.
Actually, my next advice to him is stay on the radio and stay at the bar.
Oh, damn!
Keep brewing beer.
Come on, Frankie, give me some love here, man.
Keep brewing beer.
Give me.
You guys make the best beer. I'm here all the time. This is a
he
great place. If you guys need to come over and have some really great craft beer, this is the place to be. ESB Brewing is freaking awesome.
Now, this is going to be tough for you because, you've got the wrestling school literally within 100.
Walking distance.
I know.
It's within 100 yards.
Yes.
Here you are, you're talking to your students.
Yes.
Obviously, conditioning's a big thing.
Yes.
And you think if they want to be in great shape, they want to make it to the big leagues, they've got to be on a regimen. They've
Right.
got to
Right.
eat right. They've got to take care of their bodies, and yet right around the corner is temptation.
Well, you look at it this way. Look at all the vitamins you have in beer,
Yeah.
right?
I see vitamins in beer. I'm feeling that.
Right?
Yeah.
Why do you think I've lasted so long?
Right?
You know what? I think I want Frankie to be my trainer with this kind of advice.
He will,
Seriously.
he will give you a wampin.
We did have the guy a couple weeks ago who was, how old was he? 111 or 100?
103.
Yeah, 103, who
Yeah.
drank beer every day. So, hey.
Drink a beer.
Maybe
Drink
you're-
a beer every day.
Yeah.
Now,
That's awesome.
I understand. Miggy and I were talking the other day. I understand that there's a special event coming up over at Fort Homer Hesterly. Right?
Well, it's actually they are redoing Fort Homer Hesterly.
It's becoming a
They're
Jewish
making a
community
Jewish
center.
community center.
Right.
So Joe Malenko, whose dad was one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, came up with the idea is, why don't we do something, since really Florida Championship Wrestling made the Armory.
Right.
Why don't we do something to commemorate, all the great legends that came through here at one time? So we are putting together a program. It's going to be on June the 11th, which is next Thursday, at the Tampa JCC Federation here on Gun Highway in Tampa. We are trying to raise funds to have a wall of fame to memorialize all the great wrestlers who came through Florida for championship wrestling from Florida.
Some of the best in the world have
Some
come
of the
through
best in the
Florida.
world eventually came through Florida. We're talking Dusty Rhodes, Jack Briscoe, Harley Race, Dory Funk, Hulk Hogan trained here.
Jimmy Snuka. No, I'm sorry, not Jimmy, but the Dragon, Ricky the
Ricky
Dragon,
Steamboat.
one of my favorites.
And we're having a fan fest. And this is just some of the few people that we're going to have there.
Now, is this open to the public?
It's open to the public.
And what time is this?
It starts at 6:30 p.m. It goes from 6:30 to 9:30. It's $60, which it's not bad considering what we have. We're going to have Terry Funk. We're going to have Danny Miller, Bugsy McGraw, Kevin Sullivan, Jerry Briscoe, Rocky Johnson, the father of The Rock.
Yeah.
Paul Orndorff. Many of you remember
Mr.
Paul
Wonderful.
Orndorff.
Mr.
Wonderful
Wonderful.
from Tampa. Fred Ottman, Tugboat.
Who's
Rick,
a really nice guy, by the
great
way.
guy.
I was
You
blessed
met him.
enough
You
to
met him.
be hanging out with him in that luncheon.
Ricky Steamboat will be there.
Wow.
Stu Schwartz, who was a referee here for so many years. Steve Kern. Joe and Dean Malenko. Ron and Robert Fuller. Ric Flair.
Whose father
Oh, you've-
invented the tag team match, which I
Yes.
recently
Wait a
found out.
second. Wait a second. You've got Ric Flair
Ric
coming
Flair.
down. So
Ric Flair will be
he's
here.
going to be limousine riding, jet flying.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Mom Bodden. He's hanging
Yes,
out
sir.
with his Mom Bod.
Greg Valentine.
Oh wow.
Now we're talking about, we're also bringing in people from the WWE. Roman Reigns will be here. Kofi Kingston. Chris Jericho's going to be doing a live podcast.
Yeah, Chris Jericho with
Who stole our thunder, because we'd love to do the
right.
podcast.
Chris
there,
Jericho
son of a
with
bitch.
the great band Fozzy, who also has a very successful. He's got a successful band, very successful podcast.
Yes.
Yep.
He's also done some acting
And
as well.
These are legends of the past. who
One of the
came through
Bushwhackers
here.
is going to be there.
One of the
Luke,
Bushwhackers.
Yeah.
Myself is going to be there.
of course, the legend of
now,
the legend.
Chris Jericho and Greg Valentine, who both, I believe, also studied with the Hearts.
Yes.
Yeah, the heart.
Yeah.
Yes, they're both with the Hearts. And we're going to have a fan fest. It's going to be a VIP meet and greet. And the $60 includes all of this, where you're not going to have that anywhere else. You're going to have a buffet dinner, picture opportunities, and there's also going to be some auctions for wrestling memorabilia. You're going to see boots from the Funks. You're going to see a trophy that Joe Malenko is bringing in when he won the AJWP from Japan Junior Heavyweight Championship.
Wow.
I mean, it's going to be just a great event, but it's all going to a great cause because there's going to be a whole wall at the Jewish Community Center just for, the wrestling stars of the past who came through here at one time or another.
You know who would absolutely be in his absolute element would be the VWB, the Zach. Zach Cooper, our great friend Zach Cooper, who just graduated, by the way. Congratulations to Zach Cooper, which you are familiar with Zach. He's a big boy,
Yes.
man. He's messing around and doing stuff with those guys that do over
Yeah,
the Tampa Picture
involved
Show
in
and stuff.
the local wrestling
I'd
scene.
love to get him in my training center.
I would love to get him.